China spent 30 years and hundreds of billions of dollars building a wall the US Navy could not cross. Missiles that can reach out over 1,000 miles and sink an aircraft carrier before it ever gets close. Radar systems that can track a target the size of a fighter jet from the other side of the horizon. A layered, integrated kill network stretching across the entire Western Pacific, designed specifically to keep American warships out. Here's the problem for China. The US Navy isn't trying to break through that wall anymore. It's already on the other side. What I'm about to show you isn't some Pentagon wish list or a classified theory. This is operational. It's funded, part of it is already deployed. And when you see exactly how it works, you're going to understand why China's greatest defense advantage may have just become its single biggest vulnerability. Let's start with what China's actually built, because you need to understand the trap before you can understand how the US Navy flipped it. The technical term is A2AD, Anti-Access Area Denial. But strip away the jargon and here's what it means. China's constructed an enormous defense bubble around its coastline and the surrounding seas. Anything the US Navy tries to send into that zone, carriers, destroyers, cruisers, face wave after wave of weapons designed to destroy it before it can even reach firing range. The backbone of that system is the DF-21D and DF-26 ballistic missiles. These are the ones the media call carrier killers, and that's not hype. The DF-26 is an intermediate range ballistic missile with a range of over 2,000 miles. It can be launched from the Chinese mainland, travel at hypersonic speed, and hit a moving aircraft carrier in the open ocean. The most recent Pentagon report confirmed China now has the DF-27, a next-generation intercontinental anti-ship ballistic missile capable of reaching the U.S. West Coast. Layers on top of that, the YJ-21 hypersonic anti-ship missile, which travels at Mach 10 and according to Chinese claims, cannot be intercepted by an existing air defense system. Then add over the horizon radar, satellite surveillance that covers the entire Pacific continuously, and a submarine force that has grown to surpass the U.S. Navy in total hull numbers. China's plan was simple. Build a wall of sensor and missiles so deep and so lethal that the U.S. would never dare send its carriers in. Force America to fight from the outside where the range, the logistics, and the risk all work in China's favor. It is a brilliant strategy. It cost them decades and enormous resources to build, and the U.S. Navy just found a way to make it irrelevant. If that hits you the way it hit me when I first dug into this, drop trap in the comments below. I want to know how many of you saw this coming. Quick thing before we get into how, if you're not subscribed yet, do it now. I put real research into every single one of these videos and it genuinely helps me keep making them. 2 seconds, then stay right here. Here's where it gets interesting. China's A2AD wall was designed with one assumption built into it, that the US Navy would try to project power using aircraft carriers and surface ships, big, visible, trackable targets. That assumption made sense for decades because that's exactly how the US fought. You send in the carriers launch the strikes, the carriers win. But the Virginia-class submarine doesn't play that game. The Block V Virginia-class attack submarine is now operating with something called the Virginia Payload Module, the VPM. And this changes everything. Here's what it is. It is an 84-foot hull section added to the submarine, essentially a plug inserted into the boat. Inside that plug are 4 large diameter vertical launch tubes. Those tubes add approximately 28 additional Tomahawk cruise missiles to each submarine's arsenal. That more than doubles the strike capacity of the boat. A single Virginia-class submarine with the VPM can now carry up to 40 Tomahawk missiles. Think about that for a second. 1 submarine, 40 missiles. A weapon platform that China cannot reliably detect, cannot reliably track, and cannot reliably intercept, operating silently inside the very waters China has declared off limits to the US Navy. China built its wall to keep surface ships out. Submarines don't need to knock on the front door. They're already inside. And the Virginia-class doesn't just carry Tomahawks. The VPM also accommodates unmanned vehicles and specialized sensors, meaning these submarines can deploy their own drones while operating deep inside Chinese-controlled waters. That's a forward strike platform, an intelligence gathering platform, and an unmanned vehicle mothership all in one hull. As of 2026, the U.S. Navy confirmed plans to procure the first 4-block V2 Virginia-class submarines starting in FY 2030. Between 1998 and 2026, the Virginia-class has evolved from a 7,800-ton Cold War replacement into 10,000-plus ton multi-mission strike submarine, one that has quietly absorbed the roles that used to require 3 or 4 different specialized vessels. This is the weapon China's A2AD network has never designed to stop. But wait, because this is the part most people have no idea about. The US Navy isn't just deploying submarines inside China's defense perimeter. It's sending in robots. The Ghost Fleet. That's what people inside the Navy call the growing armada of unmanned surface vessels and unmanned underwater drones that are being built, tested, and now deployed specifically to operate in the exact waters China declared off limits. In January 2026, the US Navy confirmed it's racing to transform nearly half of its entire surface fleet into robotic platforms by 2045. 2 upgraded prototype vessels, Sea Hunter and Seahawk, are transitioning from experimental status to full fleet controlled assets. One of them is scheduled to deploy alongside a carrier strike group this year in 2026. And then there's the May 2026 shipbuilding plan. This is brand new. The Navy just confirmed it's procuring 47 medium unmanned surface vessels, MUSVs, at a cost of $3.1 billion through FY 2031. These aren't prototypes. These are operational platforms. Scouting, screening, deception, strike support. All of it, without a single American sailor exposed to incoming fire. Here's why that matters strategically. China's A2AD system is built around kill chains. Detect the target, track it, lock it, fire. The kill chains only works if the system can find something worth shooting at. A swarm of low-cost unmanned vessels doesn't break that chain. It overwhelms it. China can fire at drones all day. Those missiles cost millions each. Every missile China fires at a drone is a missile it's not firing at a carrier. New revelation. Here's something new I genuinely didn't expect when I started researching this. The most dangerous weapon in this story isn't a missile. It isn't a submarine. It isn't even a drone swarm. It is a Boeing Orca. The Boeing Orca Extra Large Unmanned Underwater Vehicle, the XLUUV. This is a submarine-sized autonomous drone that requires no crew, can be launched from a pier, and can operate independently for extended missions in the most contested waters on the planet. In May 2026, just last month, the US Navy shifted the Orca program from experimental development into full fleet acquisition. The new plan funds 2 Orcas in FY 2027 and 16 total vehicles through FY 2031. Total investment, $1.13 billion across the program. What can an Orca do? Convert payload delivery, seabed surveillance, mine warfare, future strike support. It can go places a crude submarine can't, because if it doesn't come back, no one lost their life. Now we need to talk about the invisible weapon, the one that makes all the others work. Electronic warfare. China's A2AD system isn't just missiles and submarines. It's an architecture. An integrated system where satellites track targets over the horizon, radars acquire them, and command networks route the firing solutions to the right weapon. Every piece has to talk to every other piece. It's a chain, and chains can be broken. The US Navy's electronic warfare capability exists specifically to fracture that kill chain at multiple points simultaneously. Blind the radar, jam the command link, spoof the targeting data. If China's missiles can't get a confirmed target fix, they can't fire, or they fire at a ghost. Either outcome works in America's favor. Here's what makes this particularly lethal, in combination with everything else. Electronic warfare doesn't announce itself. There's no visible launch, no explosion, no warning. One moment China's integrated defense network is functioning, and the next key links in the chains are degraded. The submarines are already inside the perimeter, the drones are already in the water, and the missiles China spent decades building are now pointing at center ghost. The bubble doesn't pop. It just stops working. Now, I respect you too much to give you half the story, because here's the part that doesn't make it into the recruitment commercials. The US Navy needs 66 attack submarines to execute this strategy properly. Right now, it has 47. The next generation SSN-X won't even be procured until 2040 and won't be delivered until the late 2040s. China's Type 095 production line is running right now. Virginia-class production has been running about 1.1 to 1.2 submarines per year, despite the Navy's stated goal of 2 per year. Post-COVID workforce challenges, supply chain disruptions, first-time quality issues on the Virginia payload module variant, all of it has created a growing backlog of boats that have been funded but not yet built. China's Navy, meanwhile, is the largest in the world by hull count, 370 platforms as of 2024, projected to reach 435 ships by 2030. The U.S. Navy currently has 296 battle force ships and is projected to decline to 280 by FY 2027 before growth resumes in the 2030s. That gap is real, it matters, and anyone who tells you otherwise isn't leveling with you. The strategy is sound, the technology is genuine, but the industrial base that has to build these weapons, submarines, drones, electronic warfare systems, is under enormous strain. Congress, the Pentagon, and the defense industry are all aware of it. What happens next depends on decision being made right now about funding, workforce development, and production priorities. This isn't a finished story. It's a race. Here's what you take away from everything I just showed you. China built the most sophisticated anti-axis defense network in modern military history, and the U.S. Navy responded, not by trying to smash through it, but by building weapons that make it irrelevant. Submarines that are already inside, drones that overwhelm it, electronic warfare that blinds it. That's not a defense strategy, that's a trap. And China's sitting inside it. If this video gave you something real, hit like and subscribe. It genuinely matters. I'll see you in the next one. Stay sharp.